Okay, now I don't have a monitor in front of me to tell me when I'm on screen or off screen, but I did get all of this in the screen, so hopefully we'll be good. What we have here today is Cernit mica powders in various colors. There's gold, lapis sunlight, blue, Pacific Lagoon, and Viola Fantasy. And what I like to do with my mica powders, for example on this one, I made a little round of black polymer clay and rubbed the powder on there and resined half of it so it's easier to see what it will look like. Now wherever I keep my mica powders, I want to be able to see which one I'm looking at without having to pull them all out, and also have an idea what they might look like. For instance, most of these look better against a black background. I initially thought I'd paint half of the top of each lid black and add the mica powder to it, but for one thing, I didn't like the way it turned out, and more importantly, I used black acrylic paint and it just wouldn't stick to the lids very well, which was annoying. So, to plan B now. Little rounds of black and white polymer clay. So, alright, we've got some white clay and some black clay. First thing we're going to do is cut off a straight edge on each one of those and put them together. We'll scooch them right up together as well as we can while still having a very clear line of demarcation between the black and the white. Now I'm going to wipe my fingers off. Baby wipes are great for this, by the way, and you might notice that little push dispenser. I keep isopropyl alcohol in it, very handy for wetting a paper towel or refreshing a dry wipe. I think I picked that one up in a dollar store in the cosmetics department, but if I can find a link to them, I'll certainly put one in the description for you. Now we'll use a round cutter and get that line of demarcation as close to the middle of the cutter as we can. Alrighty, now we'll pick this up here. I want to scooch them together just a little bit better. And I've rolled out a bit of clay on the thinnest setting of my pasta machine to give these little guys a backing, help them hold together even better. You can really just use any scrap of clay you have, just roll it out on the thinnest setting and lay your little black and white rounds on it. Should have done that first. Okay. All right, now we'll do the gold first. Oh yeah. This mica powder sticks very nicely to the raw clay. So that's gold, lapis sunlight, this one is blue, Pacific Lagoon, and Viola Fantasy. So interesting that in some places it looks purple and in others it looks green, depending on how the light catches it, I'm sure. Alrighty, now these will go in the oven. This is all Sculpey Primo, so that's going to be 275 degrees Fahrenheit or 130 Celsius for 30 minutes per 1/4 inch. I'm going to put it in for 45. We'll be back when it's all cured. And by the way, this is what they look like as we move them about in the light. Alrighty, off to the oven they go. Okay, these little guys are out of the oven now, and as you can see, there's the gold, the lapis sunlight here, blue here, Pacific Lagoon here, and Viola Fantasy here. I'm not about to touch any of them because they're still really hot. I don't know if you could see the effect on the white part at all. It really just shows up on the black. So I'm going to set them down, let them cool. Once they're cool, we'll resin 1/2 of them so that you can get the effect just like it comes out and the effect with resin on it. We'll be back when they're cool. Alrighty, they're cool now. We're going to use a silicone mat. This is actually a hot pad, a mat that I don't use for hot pad. I use it for a resin mat. And then we'll just break these little guys out of jail. About to need some more UV resin. Get our little UV lamp out. Now this lamp turns itself off in 1 minute, 60 seconds, so we'll have to move it around a little bit, turn it back on some. It seems that I have lost the footage of gluing these little sample medallions to their jars, but I used a gel cyanoacrylate glue, super glue, Gorilla Glue, or one of those generic name brand super glue type products, cyanoacrylate glue, in the gel form, a gel super glue. I put a dab of glue on the lid, gently pressed the round onto it. Now that glue holds quickly, but do let them cure a bit before messing with them. So these little guys are all done. You can see where I tried to paint the tops of the lids black and do this effect right on the lids, but that paint just wouldn't stick to the plastic, so it didn't really work out the way I wanted it to. But I made these little polymer clay rounds, half white, half black, coated them with the mica powder as we've seen, and cured them the appropriate time and temperature for the clay used. Put some UV resin on there so that you can see what this mica powder looks like, and then super glued the rounds to the tops of the bottles to which they belong, and they're done. Again, these are the Cernit mica powders in Viola Fantasy, a kind of a mix of light violet with a flash of aqua. This one is called Ore, which means gold. It's a diamond gold, and oh baby is that sparkly. This one is Pacific Lagoon, and it's a lot more kind of a blue with maybe a hint of green and purple. This one is just blue, and it is a beautiful, beautiful blue, sparkly, deep, intense blue. This one's called Lapis Sunlight, and it has kind of an aqua look to it. And the funny thing is, inside the jar, they all just look white. So you want to know which one you're dealing with, and this is what I do to mark the bottles so I'll know which one I'm grabbing, if not by name, at least by appearance. I'm also working on some videos about making translucent clay mica shift experiments. Those will be in separate videos for each of these. Alrighty, I hope I covered everything. There was a while between when I made the first video until I finished it up today to post it, so hopefully I got everything in there that you need to know. I'll put a list of materials that I used for this project in the description with links wherever possible. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.